naming of alcohol. Now, the name alcohol, if you want to name it, it must end in OL. Now, we have two simple rules to follow. The first one is for you to select the longest continuous chain to which the OH group is attached. At the course of this video, you will start seeing how this thing applies. The second one is make sure number the chain starting from the end nearest to the OH. Before we continue, I want to refresh your memory, should in case this is the first time you're coming across this video. Remember, under alkane, if the carbon is number 1, we call it the methane. If carbon is number 2, we call it the ethane. If carbon is number 3, we call it the propane. Under the alkanol, if we replace this, we remove this E and replace it with OL. So if we're talking about the alkanol family, rather for you to say methane is methanol. Ethane under alkanol is ethanol. Propane is propanol. Let's continue. We have a beautiful question at the board. You can see it at the left hand side. Now, what are you going to do there? Looking at it proper, the first thing we said is we want to make sure that we get your longest continuous chain, then you make sure that this carbon attached to this have the lowest number. Now, how are you going to get the lowest continuous chain? First, you're going to have to read it here. If you count it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, you will also come out here and count it. If you count here is 1. If you count it this way, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. If you count it like this, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the problem is, which of this numbering am I going to use? Now this first one, 1, 2, 3 to 6 here, I cannot use it, even though it is the longest continuous chain. Why? Because you can see from here, the OH group is not attached to any of this, so I cannot use it. Therefore, I'm going to cancel this numbering. It cannot work. Now, what if I follow it like this? If I follow it like this, this carbon contains the OH, but is lower. So this numbering cannot also work. But if I continue like this, you can see if I follow this like this, this is 4 and this is 5. So we want to locate the longest continuous chain. And we want to make sure that the longest continuous chain contains the OH group. So from here, if I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means the longest continuous chain is pentanol. The longest continuous chain is pentanol. Right? Now, look at the trick. At carbon number 2, we have a branch. Now, in this branch, this whole branch on itself is called this is ethane, because this is 2 carbon. 2 carbon is called the ethane, but because of this, we'll call it the, please, under this video, I'm going to do a lot of things. It will be a very long video, but follow me. Every single thing that concerns naming of alcohol will be dissolved on this video. Now, this is now a branch. A substituent is now a branch. Now, this branch is called the ethyl, because you can see that's what we call the alkyl, the alkylization. It's under my channel. Look for it. Now, this is the ethyl. Now, the name of this compound is, at carbon number 2, we have a group, we have a substituent here. We have a branch here, which is CH2, CH3. And this is the ethyl group. So the ethyl is joined to carbon number 2. So at carbon number 2, we have a branch. So this is 2, you put comma, 2 ethyl. Now look at what is happening. At carbon number 1, we have the OH group. So this is 2 ethyl / 1 comma, this is pentanol. Now this is the name of this compound. You may ask, why is it that I did not write 1 pentanol, 2 ethyl? We can, because in numbering, we start alphabetically. E must come before P. Are you with me? Good. So the name of this compound is 2 ethyl 1-pentanol. Now, let's go to number 2. Number 2, you have an example here at the board. Remember, this is CS3. Now, the first thing you have to do is to locate the longest continuous chain, is it not? Now, look at, if you count this thing from this place, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the longest continuous chain, but it does not contain the OH group, so it's not going to work. If I count it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I count it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can see that we have a bypass here. Now, why am I not going to use this thing from here? If I count it now here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. If I count it from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see this is the longest continuous chain. So be careful with this. If I count it like this, 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. But if I count it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's not going to work. So the longest continuous chain here is pentanol. Now look at what is happening. Look at what is happening here. Number 2, we have the ethyl group. So at carbon number 2, at 2 we have 2 ethyl. Right? We have 2 ethyl. Now at 3 we have methyl group. So we have 3 methyl. The longest continuous chain is the pentanol. So the combined name of this thing, remember here, you have to name E before M. So the name of this compound is 2-ethyl 3-methyl pent. Now look at it. At carbon number 1 we have the OH group, but you have to indicate it. So this is 1/pentanol. Now in some textbook they can write this thing 2-ethyl 3-methyl. When they want to write this one here, they will write it like this, pentan. So they will put 1 here and write all. It's still the same thing. Are you with me? Pay attention to this. You cannot name alcohol except it's only single without indicating where the OH group is. That is the Iupac nomenclature. Now come to your right hand side here. We have the condensed one. Now please, when you see something like this is the condensed formula, and then the easiest way to name it is, this place is number 1, so you call here 1, 2, 3, this is 4 and 5. But remember the rule, we must number it in the same way that this OH must have the lowest number. So you are not going to number it like this, because if I number it like this, it will be 4. The OH, the carbon carrying the OH is number 4. So of course, obviously, this is the way to number it. So this is the way I'm going to number it. So this is my number 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5. Now the name of this compound is, the longest continuous chain is pentanol. So this is 4. At carbon number 2 we have 2-pentanol. The name of this compound is 2-pentanol. If you write, some textbook can write it like this, pentan2-ol. So note it. Now we have this one. Please note that this is double bond attached to now what are you going to do? This is triple bond 1, 2, 3. How are you going to name this compound? Remember, we have the branch, we have the bromine branch at this compound. Now if you start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the longest continuous chain is number 8. Now here is 4. If I start here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means that number will not work. I want to give this the lowest possible number. So the right one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now look at what is happening. At number 7 we have the bromine. And once we have 2 bromine, if it is 2-methyl, this is dimethyl. Now this is the 2 bromine, this will be dibromo. There are 2. So the name of this compound You will start by naming this one, of course. This is 7/7, right? 7,7/dibromo. Now, the longest continuous chain is octane, but remember we have double bond here, triple bond here. So this is 7,7 dibromo. Now you have oc. You have oc. 5 yin. Now, remember the longest continuous chain here is oct 5 yin, 4 or. This one choke. So that's the name of that compound there. That's the name of the compound there. Remember, it's 7,7 dibromo, oct 5 yin, 4 all. Remember, I'm putting all these things because at 4 we have the OH group. At 5 we have the presence of triple bond here. Do you understand? Good. That's the name of that compound. Now the next example, we have this. Now if you look at this, remember this is not benzene ring, because if there is benzene ring, it's either I put something like this to that will make it benzene ring, or I put a ring circle inside. Now whenever you do not see these two things, know that we are not dealing with benzene. This is just cycloalkane. Now we have the OH here. Whenever you have this kind of thing, the answer is always easy. You don't even need to number it, because well, however way you number it, this will always be number 1. It's only the one there. So the name of this compound is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 sides. So this is, of course, the name of this compound is called the cyclohexanol. So this is cyclohexanol. It's very easy. Now what will happen when you have 2 OH group? Now remember, if you number this, and a mistake people make, please pay attention very well. When you have this kind of question, you will make a mistake of starting to name this place 1, 2. That's a lie. This place already have branch, so your numbering is going to start from here. 1, 2, 3. You are not going to number this because this is a branch already. So pay attention very well. So whichever way you number, even if I number here 1, 2, 3, it's still the same thing. So what do you think the name of this compound is? What do you think? The longest continuous chain is 3. What is the name of the compound? Please pause the video. Now the name of this compound is, at 1 we have this. So the name of this compound is 1,3 propandiol. 1,3 propandiol. Some people call it propan 1,2. You can call it propan 1,3 diol. They are still the same thing. Let me also write it. You can call it propan 1,3 diol. They are still the same thing. Now let's go to this next example here. Here we have the presence of double bond already. So of course we want to give this the lowest number, so my numbering is going to start from this place. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The longest continuous chain is what? The pentanol, right? Please pause the video and tell me the answer immediately. Pause the video and tell me the answer immediately. Now, the name of this compound, look at it. At number 2, we have the OH. At number 3, here, we have the presence of double bond. So you want to name this compound, you can either name it 3-pentane. Look at what I'm writing. Let me use black. 3-pen, because whenever you have double bond, it's pentane. If you have triple bond, it's pentene. If you have triple bond, it's pentyne. Are you getting me? Now I'm changing en. If it is single bond, I'll just write it as double bond. So this is 3-pentene, and the location of this pentene, and then 2 or. Now if you like, you can still write it the way I named that one. It can also be pent 3 in 2 or. All these ones, they are also the same. So please choose whichever one that is okay for you and do. Let's go to the next example. I put CH3. Now remember, we always want to make the OH to have the lowest number. So whenever you have something like this, automatically you will start naming from this place. So this is your 1, 2, 3. Now it means that at 3 you have the methyl group, right? So this is the same thing, 3-methyl cyclohexanol. So know it very well. This name of this compound is 3-methyl cyclohexanol. But we have a problem also. If you want to name this thing like this, like I said, we have to indicate the position of the double bond. Isn't that what we have been doing since? But if it is like this, if you want, you can indicate, but this is cyclo, because look at what is happening here. This compound is 2. A student was telling me that she didn't see this kind of compound. You may think is 3-methyl cyclohex 1-or, but that is not it. The name of this compound is 3-methyl cyclohexanol. Because this one will always be number 1. But if you want to write it, it's not a big deal actually. So what if I remove this and I replace this with OH? What will be the answer? Now this is 1-3. It's still that 1-3 we did, but this will not be 1-3, right? Cyclohexanediol, because there are 2. So this is 1,3 cyclohexanediol. So why I'm wasting my time is I want to make sure that I touch every single thing. This video may be much, but at the end of it, you will learn everything you need to learn. Follow me. Now, we are into some classwork. Now, this is, what is the name of this compound? You can pause this video and name it everything. The name of this video, I'm going to start numbering from here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 2-pentanol. You can call it pen2-or. We are done with this one. So I'm going to clean this. Now, what is the name of this compound here? We have 2 OH group. So if I name from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I decide to name from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, following this black pen, if I name from here at number 3 we have OH, so 3 plus at number 4 here. So 3 plus 4 is equals to 7. If I follow this numbering, so here is also 3. So this is 1, 2, 3, right? So here is 4. So whichever way you name this thing, is still the same thing. You can see they all have the same 7, 7. Now, so any way you want, you can number it. So let me clean this black one and use the red numbering. They are all the same. Now, if I want to number this, remember, we have at 3 we have the OH. So the name of this compound is simple. 3, 4. The longest continuous chain is hexane. Then remember there are 2, so hexanediol. If you want to also name it another way, you can say it's hexane 3,4-diol. Now remember, I'm not saying hexane 4,3. You have to name it alphabetically. You also have to name it from the lowest to the highest. So this is hex 3/4 dash here, hexanediol, or you call it hexane 3,4-diol. They are all the same thing. The next question here, if you are mastering these questions, if you come here, you not even waste time, because from here I'll start naming here. This is, now look at where the problem start. You will rush and start naming from here and you will fail it. You cannot name here. There's already an OH there. So your numbering will start here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And before we have the bromo, and we have this one. So the answer is, let me write it here, 4 bromo. The longest continuous chain is, if you like, we got 1 pentanol, or you can name it as 4 bromo. Then you have pentan 1 or. You can also name it like this. They are all the same thing. Now the last one you have here, so you start naming. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 1, 2, 3. So whichever way you name is still the same thing. Now we have an interesting thing here. We have the bromo group here as the branch, and we have the chloro here. Now what are you going to do? This is a very simple yet complicated question. What are you going to do? Pause the video please and tell me the answer of what you think that should be. Now we have to name it from here. Why am I going to name it from here? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why I'm naming it from here is, even though in whichever way I name it, this will always be number 3, I have to consider the branch. The B comes before the C. So I don't want to make my B to have higher number, because if I name it from here, it will not be that here will not be 4 bromo, which is wrong. So since B comes before C, I also want to make sure that I have the lowest number. So the name of this compound is simple: 2 bromo, 4 chloro. Then what is the name? This is the pent. You can write it 3 pent, or let me write it penta 3 or. That's the name of this compound. We have these ones. How are you going to name this? Remember, this is not a benzene ring. Always be careful with this, not a benzene ring. And so this is just a cyclopentane. Now, if you want to name this, remember I said whenever you have a cyclopentane, this will always be number 1. So there is no need. That's why I don't need to indicate it. Now, here will be number 1. Here will be number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The name of this compound is 2-ethyl. So you have 2-ethyl, and then you have what? Cyclohexanol. If you have something like this, don't waste your time trying to put cyclohex 1-ol. Is of no sense, because in cyclopentane, you're always going to start naming this number 1. So normally, even if you search it, it's very rare before you see them indicating the position of this bond, the position of this OH. So take note of it. Now in this place, I will start naming from here. Now since we have 2 branch, what am I going to do? This is the ethyl group. This is the pentane. This is the methyl group. Now remember that E comes before M. So I'm going to name here lowest. E comes before M. So this will be 1. This will be my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why am I not naming from here? If I name from here, this will be 1, 2, 3. Then I'm not giving the 1, M, the lowest number. I want to give E because E comes before M as the lowest number. So this is simple. So the name of this compound is, of course, you start from the lowest. So the name of this compound is 2-ethyl, 5-methyl. Then of course this is cyclohexanol. That's the name of this compound. Please take note of all these points I'm busy dropping. That is bomb. That is all for this video. Please, I beg of you, subscribe to this video. If you have downloaded, go back to subscribe to my channel. Like the video, drop comments in the video. Thank you very much.